So, hello everyone. We are here at Odoo. I'm Stefano. I'm today with Chaitali.
Hi everybody, I'm Chaitali. I'll be hosting this webinar and Stefano will be presenting the new features of Odoo 13.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, me too.
It is our new version. It came out 2 weeks ago, so it's super recent.
Super fresh.
Super fresh. We are going to see some of the new features, some of the new modules actually that we have, some of them for specific sectors.
Yeah.
I think it is one more time a step ahead for Odoo.
Yes, we have a lot of features which are specifically for example, for industry specific, like rentals and field service,
Indeed.
and social media marketing. And we also have a lot of improvements and features. So obviously this webinar will not be able to cover everything. It's only 20 minutes long. So Stefano's prepared like a quick little overview of the main apps and features. And then we'll get into a Q&A. We will be covering all of the other features on accounting, etc. in the next webinars, which will be featured in the next coming weeks as well. So
yeah, indeed.
Get started?
Indeed.
All right.
Let's get started.
Okay.
I think there are so many things, as you said, to show that.
Oh, yes.
I mean, that would take hours.
Yeah.
But let's try to resume. Let's try to focus today on what's really interesting, what's really cool, in my opinion. Here I am currently in a database. So this is a new database, a version 13. Actually, we can see that we have different modules. As we mentioned, we are going through the rental, the social marketing management. But first of all, it is really cool to see our website. So indeed, we already, if you're already familiar with Odoo, you would know that website was a module that we already had in the previous versions. But now we improved this specific module. We have even cooler features. We improved the user experience in general, I would say. In fact, we can go to our configurator, to our editor. I see here a blank page, so it's totally empty. We could try together to set up quickly a new website, a new front end, a landing page. Well, strategy as usual. So we have drag and drop, really easy. I can pick up a cover image. Moreover, what has been improved is that I would be able to directly edit the parameters of all my images, of all my boxes, directly from the website. So if you remember in version 12, we always had to go on the image and then a menu was opening. Now all these informations are always contained in this menu at the left. So this is what we call the inline options.
Okay.
We can set up, for example, different parameters such as an animation. So it would be super easy to say, okay, let's decide that we want this cover image to fade in as soon as our customer is landing on our website. And we can decide, for example, okay, I would like to fade in from the left to right.
Okay.
So that's really, it is a funny feature. It helps us to give a very dynamic aspect to our website. And in my opinion, it looks like super modern.
Fun. Yeah.
I really enjoy it. Moreover, we mentioned, some boxes. We see here we have one text box with information about our product, about our websites. Well, we could indeed, for example, say, okay, it's only a blank, a white box. In order to change the color, I would just, again, select this type of box, go scroll down on my left menu, and define my background color.
Okay.
So as you can see, I have all list of possible colors, and I can apply this one, for
So you
example.
can really customize it according to if you have like a specific brand color or something to make it more appealing to your brand.
Indeed, indeed. Especially in terms of aspect, we improved a lot, in my opinion, all the possibility of adding filters directly on the image. So you wouldn't have to crop or to modify before uploading the image on your website, but you can directly do it live when you are working on your front page. And that, in my opinion, I mean, it's really a cool feature. Moreover, even for other type of blocks that we might want to add, indeed, we can decide, well, classic way of exposing some products, we can decide that we can define columns. So I can drag and drop some columns over here. I can display, again, all different type of products that I'm proposing in my company. But here, again, as soon as I would select the block, I could directly define the number of columns.
Right.
So how cool is that? I mean, imagine you don't have to drag and drop 3, 4, 5, 6 columns.
Right.
You can just say, well,
You can choose it
it's
directly on the
convenient
side.
for me to have 4, so let's go for
Okay,
it.
that's pretty cool. And what's nice is you still keep the structure as the other columns, and everything is really like the design stays the same. You don't have to copy paste every single design, so it's a lot easier as well.
That's the point. That's the
Okay.
point. Indeed, we can save this type of configuration. As you see now, our cover picture is fading in.
Yeah,
and
dynamic.
Yeah, we have all these effects.
Nice.
And as you said, the structure is really clean
Yeah.
and clear, I think,
Okay.
for everyone.
Good. So
yeah.
just to resume quickly, because it's not a lot of information, but if you look at the website, basically the new features that we've released now are the inline options on the
Yeah.
side, as Stefano showed you, the block editor in which you can choose the number of blocks, you can customize your blocks,
Yeah.
and an improved user experience. If you already use Odoo, you can see sometimes like it's a lot more faster, it's a lot more smoother than it used to be on the previous versions, so that gives a nicer experience.
Yeah, I think I totally agree.
Yeah.
These features, I think, will really allow our customers to configure beautiful websites and in an easier way than
Than before.
What was before, exactly.
Okay, perfect.
Now
Next.
we can switch back to our database.
Yeah.
So we are enjoying the version 13. Very interesting new module. This is not something that you might have seen in the version 12.
Yeah.
Is the social marketing. So we are happy to introduce this module that will basically allow us to manage social media pages.
Yeah.
As we all know, okay, website is kind of a standard way of presenting our products, but nowadays, majority of companies are managing Facebook pages, LinkedIn pages, Twitter pages. Well, what Odoo decided to do is to unify all these informations in a module. So in the social marketing module, we would actually be able to create posts to, first of all, link our different pages. And moreover, we will see, of course, all the stats, all the statistics about our different pages.
Okay.
As you can see here in my database, we are seeing Facebook page of Odoo. If we would like to synchronize live with the Twitter page, with the Twitter account, it would be really easy. We would add a stream. There we go. We select Facebook, Twitter. We have the possibility to synchronize as well with LinkedIn, as I mentioned. And now we would just be linking and synchronizing the account. So this is Odoo event Twitter account. And as you can see, everything is directly synchronized.
Pretty cool.
With the latest post from Odoo Experience in October. So how do you like it? How do you feel about it?
I love it. To be honest, being in marketing, I think this is really, really, really interesting because we can get an overview of all of our social media pages in one view and within Odoo itself.
Indeed.
So that's really cool also to interact with our colleagues, and we can see like we have one platform in which we can have our posts on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and hopefully Instagram in the future.
Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed. I hope it will come as well.
Do you think? Okay, so we can post live. That's for sure.
That is something that we can indeed do. In fact, if we would check on the database, we see that we can directly create a post,
Right.
for example. And what's actually really cool is that you can post it right now, so you can decide where you are going to post. Of course, cool feature is that you would be able to manage multiple pages.
Yeah.
So I would like to post the same image with the same text, for
Yeah.
example, on
Across
multiple
your
pages,
channels, yeah.
multiple channels. I could directly do it here. So I would just select my checkbox. So
Yeah.
I can say, okay, I would like it to be on my website, as well on my Facebook and my Twitter account that we just synchronized.
Right.
What is really cool, in my opinion, and I believe you can confirm, especially as you mentioned, being a marketing specialist, I think we can send a post right now. But what's really interesting, in my opinion, is that we can also schedule it
later.
for another moment.
True.
So if we are working late in the evening and we would like to post something for tomorrow morning, so for our new release, we can indeed schedule the post date with date and hour.
Yeah. That's pretty
So,
cool. That, as you said, also if it can be optimized for the market. For example, if you're posting, like for us at Odoo, we work with multiple markets in
Indeed.
all over the world. So
Indeed.
it's always
US,
nice to
Asia.
have it, yes, right, US, Asia, and it's not the same time zone. So it's always interesting to have a post, the same post for all the channels, but that goes at a time which is optimized for the market, like at 9 a.m. on San Francisco, which is for us bedtime. But yeah.
Indeed,
Okay.
indeed. We want to be effective, so
Yeah.
that's why we have this standard feature in our all new social marketing
Right.
module. Indeed, we can also track visitors, like really quickly, as you can imagine. All the visits that we might have had on our pages, on our channels, are visible over here. And these are just standard features that we are going to recap right now on a slide.
Yeah.
But there's much more to discover, I believe.
True. So these basically, as we've mentioned before, we're just covering the basics of all of the apps. We're not getting really into detail. If you'd like to really use it for your company, you can always get in touch with Stefano via spt@odoo.com or like with any of our business advisors, and they can really show you how you can adapt it for your company. But to quickly recap, basically, social marketing app, you have the ability to manage your social media pages directly via Odoo. It's synchronized with Twitter and Facebook for the moment. You can schedule your posts, you can track your visitors, and you can create campaigns that are also linked to email marketing. As you know, we have the email marketing app.
Indeed.
So it's nice to have a coherence between your email marketing campaigns as well as your social media marketing campaigns.
Indeed.
Okay.
That's really cool.
Going back to the demo.
Coming back to our demo, I think, moreover, I mean, we define how to organize a website, how we can manage our different channels. But since we mentioned it at the beginning of this webinar, we are also happy to present the rental module itself. Specific for rental sector, indeed. It was often requested by customers. I have to admit, being a business advisor, being in contact with new potential customers, we were able to manage this type of companies in version 12, but it was always done through, let's say, some workarounds or through some minor customization. Now we are really happy to present it as a full standard functionality. As you can see, I would just go in my rental module. It is here where I can manage my rental service, the sales. It's here where I can create quotations. Just to have an example, we can imagine right now to be a car rental company, for example. We would imagine to have a customer just coming at our office or asking for a quotation that we might send via email. Being in the rental application, I would be able to create a quotation. What's cool about it is that the face overview, the aspect of the page is kind of like in the sales module. So we would be familiar with the definition of the customer, definition of the product. For example, in this case, we can define, for example, we are going to rent a car to Mr. Brandon. Moreover, I'm going to add a product. And what's really cool about it, let's imagine we are renting our Tesla Model 3. I see that this is a rental product, first of all. So it already defines a specific configuration that we will have in our database. And what's cool about it is that we would have a specific menu opening, as you can see. It's an automated action that opens and that allows me to give a time and a date for the pickup and for the return of our car. So first of all, I might say, okay, this is for 1 day. Let's say the customer required it for 2 days. So, from the 15th until the 17th, for example. 4 p.m. looks fine. I have 2 days, and the price, it's automatically computed. I set up the price as €100 per day for our car. Now, we see that all the configurations in this specific module are really helpful to identify, for example, the dates, to indicate which is the rental price of our specific product, so of our car. In fact, we have a sub-menu showing us all the possibilities, such as, for example, the extra hour or extra fee, for example, if the customer is returning the car with a quite big delay, let's imagine. So, in my opinion, this is something really helpful for rental company. It's all standard. I mean, we cannot have something better than that, in my opinion. And linked to the rental module, we also have a new module, also very, very important, which is the field service. We are going to see it right now. I think imagining to be a rental company, we can also say, okay, moreover, we are not only renting the car, but let's imagine, for example, that we want to manage a premium service, so such as a home pickup service. So for home pickup service, what I mean is that we are going to have a technician, for example, in our office, who would go at the home of our customer and pick up the car when the rental is over. You will see I configured this service as a standard service in Odoo. We have our pricing, we have all the relevant informations. But as soon as I would save this quotation, I would be able to send it via email, as we said. This is quite standard feature also in sales module. I could confirm the quotation, and in this case, for example, I can directly confirm. At this moment, I would have a sales order, which is confirmed. I see that the specific car has been reserved, but moreover, I see that I have a project overview. When Odoo is mentioning a project overview, it means that we have a task which has been opened, and the task is linked to the field service that we are going to do. So, I mean, I think you are seeing the potential of this functionality,
right?
Because, I mean, how many times companies have technicians or have maintenance operations or reparation operations to do, and actually they do not know how far the customer is,
right,
or how to reach him, actually.
So this simplifies that as well.
Exactly. So all these features are going to be much easier. So all these tasks are going to be much easier right now, because actually, as soon as I confirmed the sales order, I automatically created a new task in this new module, so that we are going to check the field service module. As you can see, well, I already have a pickup. This was for yesterday, 14th of October, pickup of a Mercedes. But right now, I just created a new task for one of my employees. I see that it's a home pickup service for Brandon Freeman. Actually, I see that I can define the date. So, for example, I can say I will assign it to myself, in this case, Mitchell Adin, and then say that I will do it, for example, on the 17th at 7 p.m., for example.
Okay, you were quite late.
Yeah, actually, I can say and configure it this way.
Okay.
Once I have this information about the field service, it is a really cool feature, the fact that we can have an integrated timesheet.
Okay.
So you would be able to track actually the time that your employees will dedicate to a specific task. It's an automated action. I can start as soon as I leave the office, and there I would be able, for example, to see how much time my employee dedicated for this pickup.
Okay.
Last informations regarding field service. We mentioned, okay, how am I going to reach Mr. Brandon Freeman? Well, at any moment of all of the tasks that I might have on the field service module, I would be able to see a map view. So over here on a map view, I see that I have the pickup Mercedes and the home pickup for our customer, so for Brandon.
Right.
As soon as we would check this one, I can navigate to it, and that's a really cool feature that we have.
Nice.
It is a straightforward integration with Google Maps,
okay,
so that you would always know how far is your customer. In this case, for example, is located in San Francisco.
It's a bit far for pickup, but
it is indeed. But I think for any kind of company who's working on local territory,
right,
on the same region, same country, it's a super cool feature,
that's
honestly.
True. Very interesting.
Yeah. Right now, if we would come back to our database, another cool feature that I'm happy to introduce is also linked to the contact.
Right.
So we mentioned the social marketing, but we actually have even another module for marketing. In fact, let's imagine just before leaving my office, I would like to notify Brandon so that we are coming at his place to pick up the car.
Yeah.
At this moment, well, I could send an email, but maybe he will see it in 2 hours.
Right.
I could phone him, but he might be busy or I don't want to annoy him. So actually a really cool feature that we have right now is that as soon as I would go on the contact form of Brandon, I would directly see that just as a side of the phone number, I would have the possibility to send an SMS.
Okay, which he gets directly then.
Exactly.
Nice. Okay.
So he gets directly this SMS. Here is where I can type down my message, and all that is also due to our new module, which is SMS Marketing.
Okay.
As well for marketing team.
Nice. That's pretty interesting. So you cover the whole flow from rental, field services, and SMS.
Indeed.
With one quick little case. If you go to the slides to recap basically what was just covered, because that was a lot of information.
Indeed.
So in rental, basically you have the ability, you can rent out your products or services, like you mentioned, and you can see exactly through a Gantt view how they are on your schedule, on your agenda. Field service, again, same thing. You can map exactly your product services where they have to be. For example, Stefano gave the example of the pickup service, and we have Brendan's address in San Francisco.
Indeed.
And we have our other apps and features, for which the first one which you covered, which was the SMS marketing. As you saw, I mean, the thing is we don't have an SMS live active right now, but it'd be really cool if you just send a message and people get it directly and
of course.
They have the information they need.
Of course, you can create campaigns,
yeah.
and I mean, you can say basically your newsletters via SMS or just sending a reminder, for example, for an all-company meeting.
Yeah, like
even to your employees.
Like Fabian did for our all-company meeting, but yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, all right. So obviously we couldn't cover everything. This is quite a short flow to give you an idea of the features. But we also have other apps and features. The other apps that we have are referrals, in which you can refer your colleagues. It's more of like internal HR app.
Yeah.
And it's like a kind of a gamification of referrals.
Exactly. That's a funny application.
That's a funny one.
I really enjoy it.
Did you give a lot of referrals? Do you climb up on the rank?
Actually, we kind of use it.
Okay.
We kind of use it also in our department.
Nice. Okay.
It's always nice to refer a friend or, somebody that we might know for the HR team.
And win prizes.
Exactly, exactly.
So we will be actually doing specific webinars on all of these apps that are not SMS marketing, but on referrals, approvals, planning, and MRP on CRM, which is why we're just going through them quickly, briefly.
Yeah.
Approvals. What do we know about that?
Well, approvals, it is a totally new module that actually will allow us to create some approval steps and will allow us, for example, to have validation depending from a manager or for different type of tasks or expenses that our consultants might have when they go on site and they visit the customer, for example. Then, as you mentioned, a new module is also planning. This is what will allow us to manage employees' shifts. This indeed, it is a really cool feature for manufacturing companies that work on night shifts. For example, to organize the labor, to organize all the people, or just imagine for restaurants as well.
To organize the shift. Yeah.
You could have different type of shifts for a cafe or a restaurant. We know that we can manage it with Odoo, so planning would be really useful for that with a cool Gantt view and a view that allows us to see when each employee will be busy. So the schedule, for example, for the following week. And based on that, we can also send this planning to our employees via email.
Right.
For example, that's really interesting. Another new module, indeed strictly linked with accounting, but is treated as a separate module, is the consolidation module. So this is what would finally allow us to properly manage, let's say, multi-company. As some of you might know, Odoo was already multi-company, so it already allowed us to manage holdings or group of different companies managing and having separate accounting. But now we would be able to do proper consolidation of all journal entries, for example, and all relevant reports of the group. Then, as we can see on the slides, we have what are not new modules, but are new important features. So in the manufacturing module, so in the MRP, we have the subcontracting feature. I can say that I was waiting for it. I had many manufacturing companies explaining me how they were going to have subcontractors, how some of their materials were actually assembled externally and then sent back to the main factories, to the main warehouse. So this is a new feature. It comes in standard with MRP module and inventory. And moreover, we see the CRM. So as we know, we manage our commercial flow in the CRM. Often, sales managers especially like to have an idea of the probability of the deal. So for each deal, for each opportunity, we always want to keep an eye on how high the probability of closing this deal would be. Now, I mean, we were always able to manually input the information.
Right.
But this calculation, these computations were sometimes kind of random.
True. So it's quite subjective. You know, if you see 90%, that may not be the actual 90%.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Exactly. It is always hard to define and to identify the real probability, let's say, rates, possibility rates.
Yeah.
Right now, Odoo has, let's say, an embedded technology that automatically computes this probability depending on the informations that we have and depending on the history.
What kind of information, for example?
That's actually really cool, because imagine when you're filling in an opportunity, so you probably want to have the email address, the phone number, the name of the company. So the more informations you will have, the higher the probability of closing this deal would be.
Okay.
And also based on experience. So Odoo will have kind of an elephant memory right now, let's say, would keep in mind how you treated your deals. And for example, if you're working on different markets and you're very, very active on, let's say, Spanish markets, well, a Spanish lead, a new Spanish opportunity would have a higher possibility.
Right, based on the past past closings.
Exactly. Rather than, for example, France, or if you're not that active in on French market.
Right.
Nice. But it's really another great feature for salespeople.
So if you want to see this live in action, you have to stay tuned to see our webinar on the new Odoo CRM in Odoo 13, in which we'll actually show you how it works.
Indeed.
Okay, and the final thing that we have is the speed. Odoo 13 is 4.5 times faster than Odoo 12. As you can see, obviously, since we can't show both databases with the equipment we have right now, we have a quick little graph to show you exactly what the difference in speeds are based on the same actions performed in Odoo 12 and 13. The blue is Odoo 12, the red is Odoo 13, and you can see that you save a lot more time for the same action.
Way faster.
Way faster. And we see the difference.
And we love it.
Yes. Okay. I think that is perfect. We're just at the time of a webinar. We just finished the features and we have a quick 10 minutes to do a Q&A.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Open to questions. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Let's go to the board where we have our Q&A. And I don't know if you can see this, Stefano.
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. So, again, I will be precise. This is a functional webinar. Neither of us have any technical competencies, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So our questions and our knowledge is limited to only functional questions.
Indeed.
All right. Let's get started. The first one is this by Fami Royhan, who wants to know if the new version is still on alpha beta.
Yeah, actually, let's say for the moment, the version has already been released. Of course, our internal department did all the necessary tests before releasing it. It is published, it is official. You can actually go on odoo.com. So it wouldn't be a beta version, let's say, a test version.
Yeah.
It is the official one. On odoo.com, you would find a try it free button. And there you can directly create your version 13 database.
Okay.
And actually, it is where you can test out all the applications for free. It is already published.
Yep.
All the new modules already have their pricing published as well.
So if you could just go to my screen, that way I can show you. If you go to the website odoo.com/trial, here we are, and it's a webinar that's live. And if you go down and if you just choose any app and actually create your trial, then you are directly on Odoo 13.
Yeah. You can configure a new database, selecting the modules.
Yeah.
And it is where we are going to, let's say, create our free trial.
Right, yeah.
That's the best way, honestly, for all of you, for everyone who's interested into testing the new features.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it. It's totally free. It will take 1 minute to create a new database. And it's something that I always tell new potential customers, just like test it on your own. We are really transparent. And for any question, we have a great team of business advisors ready to help you.
Okay, great. Another question by, what about by CCC? What about mobile? So I imagine that's to ask if that's mobile friendly?
Yeah, indeed. We have an official Odoo mobile application for iOS as well as on the Play Store, so for Android. The idea is that the experience, everything is mobile responsive. So based on the size of the screen, it might be on a mobile, it might be on a tablet. Everything would be adapted. You can even check it out on the website. So on the website itself, if you would create a long description of your products, as soon as you would be on a smaller screen, smaller than your PC, for example, smaller than your laptop, everything would be adapted so that your customer can have a great experience when surfing on your website.
Right.
And indeed, it is ready. It has been updated for version 13.
Perfect. Okay. We have a question about Odoo Mates.
Yeah.
When will V13 get added in the Odoo App Store? It's not really an application, it's actually like a new version, so they won't be added in the App Store, but it is available,
Indeed.
as we said, on odoo.com/trial, or you can ask, if you're with a partner, you can ask to get upgraded to version 13 as well.
Indeed. For all customers in the previous versions, on enterprise version, it will be included in the part of the licenses. So Odoo Odoo migration team would provide the migration in order to update your current database to the version 13.
Right.
Indeed.
And what about community? So we have a question by Teresa, who wants to know if it's ready for community edition.
Well, yeah. I believe we have the possibility to download the version 13 community on a local server, for example. So indeed, it should be released. I'm not familiar with that, I have to admit.
Actually, sorry, I cut you off.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We generally show and work actually with the Odoo Enterprise. Actually, everything that we saw today and also about these new features are available on Odoo Enterprise. This is what we focused on today. For Odoo Community, we would have to double check if all the applications are available with the same features.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, a next question by Samuel, who wants to know if Google Posts, Google Business Profile, okay, I imagine this is for social media marketing.
No.
Do you know if you have the ability to add Google Posts on social media marketing? We can.
Actually, I don't know it yet.
Okay.
I think it might be in the tasks for the future.
Right.
For the moment, as we confirmed before, we have that automated synchronization with Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
Yes.
Actually, on LinkedIn, a particular feature is that we can post from social marketing module, but we wouldn't see all the historical view of the posts.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Is social media marketing available for community edition?
As we mentioned before, this is something we would have to double check. As you know, in the Odoo experience, we focused on the Odoo Enterprise version, and actually all that we saw today was on Odoo Enterprise version. Again, easiest possibility is either to talk with one of us, so getting in contact with an email or via phone call, or else downloading a trial as well. So on odoo.com, you also have the possibility to compare Odoo Community and Odoo Enterprise version, and you would have the possibility to download the Odoo Community, which is the open source version. So, and check out if social marketing is over there.
On it. But if I'm not mistaken, I think it's only on Enterprise.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think all
It's
these new
the
apps.
new app. So
Exactly.
Another question by Daniel, who wants to know if there is a link between a rental module and asset management in accounting.
Well, indeed. Indeed, we could have a link because, of course, imagining the case of a rental company, we might have all our assets, such as the cars, for example. So the management of depreciation of our assets can indeed be done. So it can be linear depreciation, it can be regressive depreciation, can all be set up in the accounting module. So we would not have this feature in the rental module itself, but just adding one module, so the accounting, we would be able to manage the asset depreciation that we might manage as products, such as the cars, in our rental module. So yeah, we'll just need both modules, but it would be possible indeed.
Okay, thank you. I see that we have a lot of questions because I'm just at the beginning of the list. We're trying to get through this as quickly as we can to answer to everyone. Wendy would like to know if we can specify a product in rental, I imagine, with a serial number. I imagine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, on the product itself, when we are creating a product, we can always define a serial number and a barcode eventually. So if you're renting, for example, laptops, you might want to identify them with barcodes. Indeed, this is possible because the rental product is configured as a standard product in Odoo. So in the inventory module itself, we could create it and set up with a specific reference, a serial number indeed.
Okay. Damia wants to know again how did we build the rental module? Was it built on customer analysis or experiences? Or feed need? Customer analysis, partner need, right?
Well, this is a good question for research and development department.
Yeah.
I would be curious to know as well. As far as I know, indeed, also on direct sales department, we are in charge of sending customer feedbacks to our product owners. So for sure, we contributed, let's say, when we receive feedbacks from potential customers or actual customers who are in this specific sector, so in rental sector. I believe it's a mix of customer experience and sector theory, let's say. So we always try to cover the basic needs of the sector. Then indeed, I mean, we might understand if some features, some very specific features are missing. But a cool module for that is indeed Studio. I invite you to check out webinars about Studio that we already did. With Studio, we can customize basically the database in a very easy way, so with drag and drop strategy. So yes, we could adapt it even more to a specific need.
Great, thank you. Another question by Wendy, who wants to know if we make a rental order, will accounting transactions be done automatically? Take the product out of our stock and start depreciating it, for example.
Well, a first move, of course, would be done. Actually, when creating a quotation, when creating an order, a rental order is basically treated as a standard sales order. So we would directly have the possibility to create an invoice. At the moment of the creation of the invoice, we would indeed, I mean, as you know in Odoo, once the invoice is created and validated, the entries will be posted and, I mean, Odoo would record the journal entries, actually, in the accounting module.
But depreciation, that's something we can...
Regarding the depreciation, I have to admit, we would have to double check if this is a standard feature. So as soon as the go.
Again, emailing, if you want to email Stefano, his email address is spt@odoo.com. I'll also write it in the chat in a while. Okay.
I would see it, first of all, as reserved. So this means that it wouldn't be available anymore in my garage or in my stock, if it's a laptop, so that I cannot rent the same product to another person.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a comment. Odoo 13 is going to be awesome. Yes, it is awesome. Thank you for that.
We also think so. Exactly.
Praveen Kumar wants to know if SMS Party Marketing is a part of the community. I believe that since it's a new app, it is enterprise only.
Enterprise only as well.
And Dakin Kira wants to know why do we not make videos in French? We do, actually. This is our first webinar for Odoo 13, hence in English. But we do have a similar one in French, Les Nouveautés de Odoo 13, the 29th of October. It's a Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
With B, again.
It's being prepared.
Yes, it is under construction. Wendy Peters. Yes, so the SMS marketing app will send SMS to phone numbers and not fixed, obviously, because if I'm not mistaken, you can't get SMSs on fixed.
Exactly.
So it will be for cell phone numbers only. Epic failure. Nice name, nice handle. Developer, unfortunately, as I mentioned, I don't know, I don't think you would know this either. How do I migrate my models into Postgres?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that requires technical knowledge. As far as I know, of course, I mean, as you mentioned, a module should be migrated, a specific external module, for example, a partner module that you might find on the Odoo marketplace, so on Odoo apps, have to be adapted. So the source code have to be adapted to the version 13. I mean, this requires technical knowledge that I would say only developers from Odoo could have.
Actually, when I scroll down, I see that we do have one of our subscribers trying to answer the question, so I will let you guys figure that out. In the meantime, if we continue with the questions, we have one about if the rental app is linked to subscription, if rental lasts for certain months.
Well, I can actually check it live very, very quickly. As soon as we would set up a product as rental, having the subscription module, I believe we would also be able to check a box, which would allow us to say that it is a sales of a product which is linked to a subscription. So, in my opinion, it is possible because in the way of Odoo logic, in the way Odoo works, we are going to be able to set up a product. Say, first of all, it is a rental product, but it is also a product that as soon as it is sold, it will activate, it will create a new subscription. So as we can do, for example, for Odoo licenses. So very, very easy. But I can confirm it right now. So I'm checking on the Tesla product itself. I said it can be rented, and in the sales, I can check the subscription product checkbox and define which type of subscription will be activated. So the answer is yes. With subscription module, we could manage a rental as a leasing, let's say, so as a subscription with recurrent payments, monthly payments, for example.
Nice, good to know. We have a greeting from Simplify ERP from Macedonia. Hello.
Hello. Thank you.
Moving on, we have a nice conversation between Odoo Mates and Epic Failure, and Miguel wants to know how to activate partial MTO MTS.
Oh, I'm sorry, which is the question?
How to activate partial MTO or MTS. Maybe you could clarify that a bit more in the comments, because that's not quite clear.
MTO, do you refer about MTO, MTS? Oh, if you could specify, like, we're happy to reply.
Right.
Thank you.
Next question by Novella, who wants to know if we have plans to build loan management module and mobile app module. We would not quite know about that, but if you would like those models, if you would have specifications, you can email them to feedback@odoo.com, and then our team of product owners will be happy to take those into consideration as well.
Yeah.
Christoph wants to know, when do you know when the bug in the POS will be fixed? Bugs in POS, unfortunately, again, that would be support, and that would not be us here.
Yeah.
Focusing on V13 solely and going down. Sorry.
Indeed, just to have a brief mention. Indeed, it might happen in version 13 since it has been released only 2 weeks ago. That some minor issues or some minor bugs appear. Of course, being an Odoo customer, having an Odoo Enterprise database, you would have access to free support via email. So in English, in French, in Dutch, in Spanish. Over there, all technical issues, all technical bugs will be fixed for free. So that's just to mention.
Good to know that as well. It's true. We have a question by Kevin, who wants to know if the consolidation app operates in multi-currency reporting or in one final chosen currency.
Well, that is a good question. I don't want to be specific on something that I'm not sure of. I tend to think, I believe that we would have to define a main currency for the group, And based on that, Odoo would automatically compute the exchange rates. So Odoo already has in the accounting module the automated synchronization with the European Central Bank for, let's say, the exchange rates when working with multi-currencies. I believe we would still have to define a main currency for the group. We can double check this one.
Again, you can email him and then he can get back to you to check. Because I think since it's quite new for us as well, we're not 100% sure of all of the features. It's always good to check with the team of developers and product owners to make sure we give you the correct information.
Exactly, especially on consolidation, which is something very specific for groups. We would have to set up a little bit of an advanced configuration of the groups of VAT numbers of different currencies, and then check if we could have the reports, for example, in 2 or 3 different currencies, as you asked.
Okay, I see that we are, sorry, I interrupted you again, but we are at the end of the time that we had for today. I know that we have a lot of questions that we did not get to. If there's questions related to some feedback you'd like to give about new products or new apps that you'd like to see, you can send that to feedback, feedback, @odoo.com. If you have some support issues, as I saw in the chat, there were quite a few, you can contact support, support, @odoo.com. And if you want questions specifically for Stefano, you can email him at spt@odoo.com. I'll just type them up there quickly at the end of the chat. Thank you so much for participating.
Thank you.
We will be doing many webinars on the apps and features that we covered today. This is a brief overview, kind of like a taste test before we actually have the full meal. So stay tuned to our channel for that.
Indeed.
If you like Stefano's webinar, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I hope to see you for the next ones. Thank you very much. Thank you, Stefano.
Thank you, Shaitali, and see you soon.
See you. Goodbye.